ESPN. She was at the Connecticut Sun and just left. She used to play for the Fever and was also an assistant coach for them. Also, if you remember, she was really great at Purdue when she played there a few years ago. The Indiana Fever might hire her as their new head coach, and her name had been thrown around at the time. Stephanie White, who is now the head coach of the Indiana Fever, made a shocking choice about NaLyssa Smith that made waves in the WNBA. And let's be honest, it was about time. We didn't see anything from free agents like Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler, and others. But there is one player who makes us wonder if she will even be on the team next year. That's NaLyssa Smith posting good things about Stephanie White getting hired. Since everyone knows that Caitlin Clark sparked a huge interest in the team, putting them all in the spotlight and giving fans hope for a playoff run. Caitlin Clark is doing things that are way too old for her. Even though Clark's plays changed the game and there are enough highlight reels to last a lifetime, they still failed to make the playoffs. And just to be clear, Clark's ridiculously out-of-this-world ability had nothing to do with her failure. It had everything to do with some of her teammates who seem more interested in playing invisible defense than actually helping the team. For most of the season, I think she's been awful. Dejonis Carrington, please free NaLyssa Smith right away. I'm not going to knock on her door. Like she tweets for free, the players were just coasting, not taking any responsibility, and watching as their effort dropped like a lead balloon. Stephanie White finally showed up though, and she didn't want to be here to watch mediocrity. She saw NaLyssa Smith's performance and thought enough was enough. It was flat, uninspired, and just plain boring. She wasn't going to let Clark's hard work go to waste because some players couldn't keep up. NaLyssa Smith has said goodbye in public. Because Stephanie White is a clear-cut business boss who knows what she wants. A team that wants to win so badly that anyone who doesn't give it their all is thrown out. You might as well start packing your bags if you're not bringing your A game every single day. She wanted women to have the same chances as men, and I don't think I would have had that chance at Iowa if it weren't for her and how she pushed for women's sports. White didn't step in to watch the kids or put out fires. She came in with a crystal-clear vision. A team with unwavering purpose, a lot of energy, and a strong desire to win. Got a game that isn't stable or consistent? Yes, she won't put up with it for a second. Don't even think about hiding behind your skills. A flashy highlight reel won't change her mind. White set such a high standard that it's funny to think about taking shortcuts. It's not about individual stars or big moments for her. It's about everyone working together to win the Fever. You could be a huge star who makes headlines and piles up stats, but if you don't meet her standards of control, focus, and unity, you're out. Not an exception. White's attitude is built on 3 things that can't be changed: hard work, resilience, and putting the team first. Don't think she's here to pat people on the back or give them another chance if they didn't do their best. Free agents like Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler, and others didn't show up for us. We're not sure if one person will even be on the team next year though. That's NaLyssa Smith posting good things about Stephanie White getting hired. NaLyssa Smith is the next person we know. Smith was once thought to be one of the Fever's biggest stars on the rise. After this season though, well, let's just say her path took a big turn for the worse. You can tell everything you need to know from the numbers. Smith went from being an important player to being a big unknown. She scored less, had less of an effect, and was only a shadow of the force she once said she would be. The coaching team could see this train wreck too. In one game, she would show some of her old ability. The next, she wouldn't be a player at all. You had to flip a coin to see which form of Smith would come up. When the Fever needed steady, game-changing efforts, they were left out in the cold. You know what a risk is? Things she has under her belt. It takes her 17 seconds to get good at firing what she's not good at, and she's not very good at it. That being said, it's not always her fault. The real deal. Seeing all that raw talent go to waste. Smith's body has all the gifts you could want. She is fit, can control the boards, and has shown signs of being a reliable force in the paint. But here's the thing: promise doesn't mean anything if you can't keep your energy up. Additionally, Stephanie White is no longer willing to wait. If you want to win a game, you have to do what you say you'll do. Making a bet on someone you can't depend on isn't just risky for White. It's completely careless. It's easy to understand. You're either taking the Fever to new heights or holding them down like an anchor. There is no middle ground. No, let's not be silly and give her another chance. There is a big chance. It's a big risk because having Stephanie White as your teacher means you are not like White is not only muttering warnings, she makes them very clear. You're out if you're not doing your part. End of sentence. Repeat underperformers don't get a second chance. Sure, it's harsh, but it's exactly what the Fever needed to wake them up, especially their young, electric heart. Players like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are what make the team want to win, and White wants everyone on the team to be just as focused. No extra people, no passenger fees, and no excuses. And NaLyssa Smith's efforts, which were all over the place, as well as the Houdini acting and clutch moments, don't really follow the plan. White won't put up with people holding back the Fever, and she's not afraid to make those tough cuts if it means the team works better together. Smith started it all by carefully removing all references to Indiana Fever from her social media accounts. Getting rid of a bio line here, unfollowing a few team accounts there, that kind of thing. But in the world of professional sports, these small digital changes are like leaving tasty crumbs for fans and people who love to talk about sports. The only bad thing is that your teams don't have to pay too much for Satu because 2026 is a great restart. The Fever fans were on it right away, like bloodhounds looking for trouble. There was a lot of talk. Did Smith want to leave so badly? Was her Fever gone? It was all over the news and led to a lot of discussion on sports blogs and fan forums. By the end of that crazy week in July 2024, Smith's online behavior had turned into a minor crisis. Fans were analyzing every tweet, post, and image as if they were clues in a basketball-themed murder mystery. No, the drama didn't end with a few changes to Instagram. Things got even more interesting after Smith's posts. Angry and making what looked like passive-aggressive jabs at each other. It was like a social media soap show, and what Stephanie White was trying to say were at odds with each other. Unity, happiness, and moving forward. Then, in early August 2024, the mic dropped. Smith wrote about feeling trapped, and it went viral, getting thousands of likes and reactions from people who were confused and shocked. "I'm sad post ever." That doesn't really sound like a player who believes in White's idea of happy teamwork and emotional stability. Instead, there was a flashing red neon sign that said, "I'm checked out." It wasn't missed. It was yet another huge red flag for White, who is a straight-talking teacher. It's been hard to talk about things between the Fever because of what happened with Dejanay Carrington and NaLyssa Smith. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more dramatic, the TikTok movie came along and turned the whole thing into a mess. At the end of September, Dejan Carrington, NaLyssa's boyfriend, posted a video that made everyone gasp and raise their eyes. The video? As if the famous eye poke from the Fever's playoff series against the Connecticut Sun happened all over again. Yes, the one where Dejan's long nails hurt Caitlin Clark, the franchise's star child, through accident or not. As they laughed and joked, Carrington jokingly denied doing anything wrong, and Smith laughed along as if it were the funniest thing ever. Both fans and experts? Not very pleased. Basically, Caitlin Clark is the Fever's crown prize, and making fun of her injury, even as a joke, was like adding fuel to the fire. It seemed rude, and it was like getting in the face of the whole Fever group. At first, the team didn't say anything, but you could tell that something big was going to happen behind the scenes. You have Dejanay, who is a jerk. What's wrong is that there's no other way to say this. The drama didn't just happen in the virtual world, though. It didn't stop there, it spread right into the changing room, making what should have been a place of calm and friendship into a living hell. Dejan Carrington's friendship with NaLyssa Smith was no longer just news for the tabloids. It had turned into a constant source of confusion for the whole Fever squad. There were hints of tension as early September, and by October they were hard to ignore. People all over the world are sharing this video of WNBA pair Dejan Carrington and NaLyssa Smith. In 2020, Dejan was a senior at Baylor University and NaLyssa was a junior. That's when they started dating. The mood in the changing room changed a lot. It felt like there were minds in the place that should have been a place of togetherness and determination. All of a sudden, teammates were walking carefully around talks, being careful not to take sides or say anything that could make things worse. It was weird, uncomfortable, and, to be honest, destructive. No team that wants to succeed should have to deal with it. Lance said, "Okay, good. You don't belong on the team anyway. She didn't do anything. She just loved her girlfriend." The hits kept coming. It was clear that NaLyssa Smith was becoming less interested in the team. People often saw her glued to her phone. She felt emotionally and physically cut off from team events, and she no longer cared about the Fever. By the end of the season, her teammates weren't just staring at her behavior, they were publicly questioning her dedication. There were rumors that she skipped her own workouts in late October, which is definitely not okay when Stephanie White is watching. It was tense everywhere by November 2024, from the seats at Gainbridge Fieldhouse to the front desk of the Fever. Fans were very angry and wanted things to change on social media, which put a lot of pressure on the group. The Fever had a lot of promise as a team, but personal problems were taking the limelight and, let's be honest, driving the whole franchise to its limits. People are very interested in what will happen next, and it's clear that the Fever have to make some very important choices.